As many of us expected, thanks to the Gran Turismo World Series Round 3 in Los Angeles, we received more information about GT7's huge spec free update arriving in December, mainly in the form of 2 more cars being confirmed as arriving as part of the update. But of course, there was another bit of information that many of us may not have really paid much attention to, and it pretty much confirmed the release date of GT7's spec free update. But before we talk about it more in depth, I'm trying to get this channel to 70,000 subscribers, so if you want to stay up to date with everything GT7 and motorsport gaming related, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. Anyway, let's go ahead and get straight to it then. Now, of course, the first live stream of the evening was the Manufacturers Cup, and as usual, we got even more information about future updates to Gran Turismo 7. And of course, this time around, it was for the massive spec free update arriving in December. Now, in terms of the confirmed information, this was confirmation of another collaboration between Polyphony and a car manufacturer, this time in the form of Polestar, and the arrival of the Polestar 5 as part of the spec-free update. Now, of course, the main part of the collaboration is the inclusion of the Polestar 5, but there was another bit of key information in there, and of course this would be about the unique online time trial, which is purely featuring the Polestar 5, and of course the reward for the winner of this online time trial will get to go to the Gran Turismo World Finals in December. Now, a lot of people, myself included, actually assumed that the game would not be updated to spec free until after the World Series finals, which would mean that the update would arrive towards the end of December, mainly around Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. However, this seems to not be the case, as of course the World Series finals takes place on the 20th and 21st of December this year. And of course, the winner of the Polestar 5 time trial will get to actually be flown out to Japan to attend the event. Now, of course, this does pretty much confirm that early December release for the spec-free update. However, a lot of people would pretty much assume, if that's the case, that this special online time trial has the winner go out to Japan. That's an incredibly short time frame from the release of the update, even if it was right at the beginning of December, to actually selecting the winner and then of course getting them out there and flying them to Japan for the 20th and 21st of December. So I guess it would seem actually more reasonable that spec free would kind of release towards the end of November at the latest to ensure that everything goes smoothly. But no, pretty much Polyphony and Polestar did confirm that the update, of course spec free, will be releasing in December. So of course, with November being a 100% no-go in terms of the spec free update, we 100% know it's coming in December, and of course it must be incredibly early in that month, if not the absolute dead start of the December month. Now, of course, we haven't received a GT7 update for a good few months at the time of the spec-free release. It would have been way over 2 months, which means that it could actually shift around instead of being released on the typical Thursday. But anyway, let's discuss a timeline then. So let's start off with the silhouette weekend. Now, I do believe that more than likely we'll get the typical silhouettes that always pretty much accompany a Gran Turismo 7 update. Now, the main reason for this is of course because we only know 6 of the 8 entirely 100% confirmed cars as coming with this update. So I do definitely think we'll probably see some type of silhouette release on the final weekend of November. But I think, as usual, sometimes this may even possibly be earlier. So I think anywhere from Thursday the 27th up to the final day in November, which is Sunday the 30th, we will get some kind of silhouette release, of course prior to the actual release of the update for spec free. Now, of course, during this period of time, it's when Kaz will head over to X or Twitter to of course post up the silhouettes. Now, in this occasion, we do know 6 of the 8 cars. However, when it comes to silhouettes, that isn't usually a problem. They'll still be featured or completely blanked out. We've had it with the Corvette Vision Gran Turismo cars, which arrived a few months ago, I believe in August, where once again we already knew them prior. Same with the Opal release as well, that was kind of blanked out in the silhouettes, but we already knew them. So again, I think we'll definitely get some type of silhouettes. We'll already know 6 of the 8 cars, and of course 2 of them will be left down to a surprise for Kaz to post up and us guys to go ahead and guess. So next up, let's talk about the trailer. Now I think more than likely we'll get some type of pretty big trailer accompanying the Spec free update. Of course, both Polyphony and Sony like to post up about GT7 updates and of course promote them, and one of the best ways is through a trailer. So typically what happens when it comes to an update, Gran Turismo 7 will get the silhouettes, and then usually the following Wednesday after the silhouettes we will get the accompanying trailer and blog post pretty much telling us everything that is included in an update. Now of course the trailer this time around is going to be much bigger, considering there's going to be 8 cars, 2 new tracks, and of course a pretty much massive overhaul to Gran Turismo 7, turning it into the 3rd version of the game pretty much since launch. Now of course that means the blog post is also going to be absolutely massive and will detail 100% everything included in that update. But I do think that the time frame is going to be a little bit different. Now of course, once the weekend's done, we're going to head straight into December on the Monday, with that being the 1st. And I think either the 1st or the 2nd of December, we're going to receive the trailer for the Spec free update, and of course the blog post accompanying it, outlining absolutely everything in that update. Now again, things like this have happened in the past. Although the typical last Thursday of the month is the usual time, and the typical update day of Gran Turismo 7 is going to be a Thursday, I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case for Spec 3. I think they're going to try and get it out as early in December as possible. So I definitely think on Monday the 1st or Tuesday the 2nd of December, we're going to receive the trailer and the blog post. So let's talk about the actual release of the Spec 3 update then. Now, I pretty much think we're going to get a trailer very early, more than likely on the 1st, or who knows, maybe even the weekend if they do skip the silhouettes. Now, in terms of the actual update, I think we can see it anywhere from Tuesday the 2nd of December all the way up until Thursday the 4th of December, which would be the more typical day to release an update if it went in line with the majority of updates. However, I think the main 2 potential candidates for a release day will be Tuesday the 2nd or Thursday the 4th. Now of course it is pretty much confirmed that it's going to be incredibly early in December thanks to the online time trial. Now of course these do run typically for 2 weeks, and this being a promotional one with the winner battling it out over a 2-week period to be top of that leaderboard and of course be invited to the World Series finals. Again, it has to be incredibly early in December for a Spec 3 release. Now this is why I do believe there's a chance that it could release on the 2nd more than likely, because even if we use the latest date that I mentioned, Thursday the 4th of December, or my birthday, thank you very much in advance to you all, that would mean the actual time trial would conclude on the 18th of December, which of course would be a Thursday once again, meaning that of course Polyphony and Sony have a single day to actually confirm the winner, contact them, and then fly them out to Japan ready for the 20th and 21st of December, which is why I think we could see it incredibly early, and I think more than likely on the Tuesday, which means that the time trial would finish on the 16th of December, and of course at least give them a few more days to contact the winner and actually fly them out there. Now there is another possibility. Now we have known Polyphony in the past to part release, I guess, DLC content prior to an update to give players a chance to actually use the car in a specific online time trial. I believe we've seen that with the Toyota Corolla, and I believe there was sort of the PSVR 2 update where that released early and prior to the rest of the content arriving in a February 2023 update. However, in terms of this time around, I don't think that'll be the case. I think the Spec 3 content will come as a single bundle. Of course, the 8 cars, the 2 tracks, and all the changes. I don't think they'll go ahead and release the Polestar 5 early just to go ahead and get the online time trial running. Again, I think because they're making such a deal of it, that they won't kind of chop it up and just give you a kind of tiny sliver before releasing the rest. However, we pretty much did get confirmation by both Polestar and Polyphony during the collaboration announcement that it would be coming in December, so I really don't see that being the case. So there we go then, we've pretty much had confirmation of GT7 Spec 3 update releasing very early in December, but which day do you think it will release? Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you in the next one, take care guys, peace.